Upon arriving at my pond this morning, I was met with quite a pleasant surprise. That being that the koi fish outside have begun to spawn. Sort of around the margins, I noticed there's a lot of froth, and when I took a closer look, I noticed that a couple of my koi had begun to spawn, and there was quite a large amount of eggs around the edges. Now, I think we can all agree that spawning season is probably the most exciting season for a lot of koi keepers in the country, and for me especially, you know, I have quite an interest in it. So basically the plan today was to try and get some of my males and females I would like to breed back into that pond, just to see if I can kickstart the spawning process. Because I find it's quite easy, well I find it easy anyway, to let them naturally start spawning and then take them out and separate them into a separate tank, and then they'll continue the spawning in there. I've tried in the past, you would have seen in my old videos, taking them out and just putting them straight into a separate vat. But I found that doesn't give great success because the koi just don't feel the need to spawn. And I found that if you let them naturally spawn in your pond, then remove them, you have a much higher chance of them spawning in a separate vat. So that's the plan today. I'm going to be catching up a few of the males and females, placing them back into that pond and see if I can get them starting to spawn. Now I have about 3 or 4 fish that I'd like to remove to sort of see if I can kickstart any spawning. Those fish being, where are they actually? This male down here, this female here, this male here, another male which has gone down here, and then there's a third female, oh yeah, this one down here. I will do a video shortly on like how you can sex your koi fish, but for today my plan is just to get these males and females out, place them into the outside pond and just see if I can kickstart any spawning. Since the ones outside are already spawning, I'm pretty sure that it won't be that hard to get them to sort of start spawning in the pond. And then from that I'll remove them using these brushes, I'll place them in a separate vat and let them spawn by themselves. The first task though is just to catch them up. Let me go grab my net real quick. There it is. Now I've got my net, and let me get the second one. A little sock net, just makes it easy and moving them a lot easier. Finally, let me just grab this tub down here. Luckily I won't have to acclimate the fish because the water temperature in here and outside is pretty much the same. I tested it this morning and they're about 1 or 2 degrees in difference. And those fish are from that pond originally, so water parameters are basically identical. But yeah, my plan now is just to catch up these 4 or 5 fish and then move them across. These are the brushes I'll be using once I get around to spawning them by themselves. But just for now, I'm just gonna let them dry out for a bit. I have them on strings and they're just all in one big 4 group. Just makes it a lot easier to hold all the eggs together. I then got to work on catching up my koi, which was luckily quite easy. Luckily it didn't take too long, but this is the breeding group I'm most interested in. These 2, well that's Senka, that's Showa there, and then this female here. I know she's a female because of just her body shape and also because she spawned last season. And I know these 2 are males just because of the gill plates on them. But yeah, they're some really nice fish. And just see if any action comes from them. So I'm just going to carry it over now. The temperature, like I said, is the same. Water parameters are very similar. I like to keep my ponds the same because it just makes sure I don't have to acclimate them or anything like that. So I've got around to the pond now. As you can see, there's just a layer of film of froth all over the top of it. That's because these koi are still spawning at the moment. I mean, these ones aren't too interested, but there is sort of a group of 3 with 1 female being chased around. Got some good reeds and some lily pads to spawn on. So yeah, we'll get these guys in now. All 3 of them, and I just got to keep a close eye on them really, just to see if they do chase her around or not. They are really beautiful fish though. I like to just tip them out. Once again, sorry for the wind, it's just I haven't got my microphone with me. But tipping them out is usually the easiest manner. And they all go. Like I said, just keep a close eye on them, see if they do show any sort of signs of spawning tomorrow. And then my plan is, if I do see any signs of spawning with these fish, I'm going to get my floating net out, place it sort of over in this corner over here, and then use my brushes to sort of put them sectioned off from the rest of the fish. I don't have to take them out of the pond because if they show signs of spawning, it's usually best just to leave them in the water. I mean, these are the brushes I will use, but that'll be in the next part of the video. I'm going to be doing like multiple parts to just sort of go through all the stages. I mean, like I said, I just find it easier to let them spawn naturally to start off with, especially if you're a beginner, because trying to get koi to spawn on by taking them out is usually a lot harder. But using nets like these is probably the best bet. Natural plants as well. If you've got any good natural plants, I recommend you use those. And then also when it comes to growing on fry, I'll be doing some videos on that eventually, once I do have fry of my own. And just in terms of just a brief overview, this is the sort of thing I use to grow on my fry. All it is really is just a tub with a bit of mud in the bottom, and then I put some plants in there. And over time it just creates a really nice environment for fry. As you can see, I've got some goldfish fry in here that have been growing in here for a while. I've got to get them out soon, but all I've got in here is a lily pad at the bottom, and then some, I forgot the name of this, I think it's hornwort. Surprisingly enough, this can survive outside over winter. People don't realise that, but if you have a deep enough tub, it will die off completely and then just grow back in the summer. but it's a really great plant because it creates a really nice bushy environment and it produces oxygen, a lot of oxygen, and it's just really good for fry and such. But that's how I grow my koi fry and such and all of that. I'm actually just going to take a small bundle of these eggs and chuck them in this little pond over here. I've used it to grow fry them before, and I want to just see if these are goldfish or koi. I'm fairly certain they're goldfish, but this is full of eggs. I'm just going to chuck it into this little tub I've got over here with some reeds in it. It's the perfect environment for fry to go into. So if I leave these eggs here, I can sort of just see, once they hatch, what exactly they are. I'm going to get a bit more, and then once I'm done, I'll show you. I've got a few more here, but I'm just collecting them from varying locations just to hope that I can get a mixture of koi and goldfish. But I'm going to let them hatch in here just so I can sort of tell the difference and see if they are koi or goldfish or not. I'll get a few more, then that's it. But yeah, this is a perfect environment. There's plenty of daphnia and stuff in here. So I'll let them grow in here for a bit, and then once they get a bit bigger, I'll split them between this tank and that tank over there. Just for this initial batch, just to see if they're healthy or not. But yeah, I'll let these guys sit in here for about 2 days. If I see any action in the next video, I'll be making another part of actually spawning them. So hope you enjoyed, guys, and catch you in the next one.